Hey guys, welcome back to the process. If this is your first time here, I just want to thank you for coming to check out my channel. Today we're going to be going over my top 50 cards to invest in for the year of 2020. This is a question I get asked all the time. What are you buying? What are you investing in? What are you looking at? I tried to make a top 10 list and I just couldn't narrow it down, so I decided to go all out and do a 50 card list of what I'm looking at and purchasing from this year. As you can see, our first card here is a Zamasuntovit V shown up here, and what I did to rank these cards is I gave them a score of 1 to 20 of the current price of the card, the current value score, the artwork score, the card outlook score, the popularity of the Pokemon or the trainer score, and then finally a total score. As you can see here, we have the Zamasuntovit. It's from Sword and Shield base set. It's a full art card, and right now the current price of this card is around $8.80 according to tcgplayer.com. I gave that $8.80 value a score of 15 out of 20, as it's not extremely low, but it's also not very high. It's kind of right there, you know, a good amount for the popularity of this Pokemon, which I gave a 14. And the artwork, all the full arts from the Sword and Shield era have been fantastic. I think, you know, 16, 15 was about as low as an artwork score I gave on any full art from the Sword and Shield era from this year. And I see this card going up in value over the years. All the kids and, you know, teenagers and adults who are playing the Sword and Shield games right now, you know, Zamazenta and Zashian being the mascots, you know, the outlook on those cards are pretty good. At number 49, we have the Zashian V, which is the more popular of the two mascots. Card is currently priced at around $12.92, and I gave that a score of 12 out of 20 on my value board, mostly because that's getting kind of up there in price, and you know, it's a bit to invest in for multiple copies especially, and it could take a while for that value to increase off of that $12.92 mark, so you would have to hold that for a while, in my opinion. Like with the Zamasuntovit V, the artwork on these full arts are fantastic. I gave that a 15 out of 20. The card outlook, same with the Zamazenta, really, I gave that a 16. It is a little bit more popular than Zamazenta, and that's why I got a 17 out of 20 on the popularity. Both equaled out to 60 total out of a total of 80 points. That's why they're down here at my 49 and 50 slots. Going into 48, we actually have the Scizor V card. It's a full art from Darkness Ablaze, currently sitting at $2.50, which is a real bargain in my opinion. I have that scored at a 19 on the current value board. The artwork is fantastic in my opinion. You know, the red and the yellow really pop. Scizor is, you know, really cool Pokemon in my opinion, but I gave him a 13 on the popularity score, just based off of what I've seen in other cards and how their values have risen. I gave the card outlook a 15 because honestly, for $2.50, it doesn't get much cheaper than that for a full art card. Considering the rarity and how difficult it is to pull, it's almost a steal at that price. The next card we have on our list is number 47, the Toxicity Vmax. It's an ultra rare card from Rebel Clash. This is just a regular ultra rare pull, and the main reason that it's made its way onto the list at number 47 is it has fantastic artwork. Toxicity is just a really popular Pokemon in the Sword and Shield games. It's really strong and powerful, and it just looks really cool on this card. Current value, I gave it a 16 out of 20. The artwork I gave a 17 out of 20. The outlook, I see this card going up in value for sure as the years go on. I gave that a 15 out of 20, and the popularity a 16 out of 20. With it being so new, that's why I didn't get much of a higher score. Our next card that we have is the full art Dragapolt V. This card is from Rebel Clash. It's also another full art. The current value on this is $10.20. Has a little bit more playability than these other cards did. That's why the price is a little bit higher than most. Dragapult's also a really popular Pokemon from the new Sword and Shield era, and I gave that card a 15 out of 20 for the current value, 17 out of 20 for the artwork. I really like the color scheme and the artwork design on this card. The popularity and the outlook are both sitting at 16, and I just see Dragapolt's value going up as the months and years go on, just based off of the games and everyone liking this Pokemon. It's a really good one. Total score on that of 64. And our next card on the list, we have a Ninetales V sitting at number 45. Ninetales V comes out of the Rebel Clash Sword and Shield set. It is a full art, current value of $7, which is not too high, not too low, kind of a good price for a full art card right now. I gave that a 15 out of 20 for the current value. And for the artwork, this is one of my favorite artworks actually from the Rebel Clash set. Gave that an 18 out of 20. The card outlook on this is really high in my opinion. Ninetales is one of the original 150, 151, whichever way you want to say it. And I just think that there's a lot more collectability for Ninetales than a lot of the other cards that come out of Sword and Shield right now. The overall popularity of Ninetales isn't super high, but it's just more well known through a broader audience than a lot of these other cards. Coming in at number 44, we have the full art Sable IV, and Sable IV made its way on this list mainly because it just looks really cool. It's $4.85 right now, a really good price. Gave it a 16 out of 20 on that score, and the artwork got a 19, almost close to perfect. This card is just, in my opinion, amazing to look at. The card outlook, I only see this going up in value because of just how good it looks, and there's a lot of ghost type fans, and it's a bit of an older generation Pokemon and just a bigger audience. The popularity of Sableye isn't super high outside of ghost lovers, but it still ended up with a total score of 65 out of 80, so not too bad. Our next card here is a regular holo Suicune. It comes out of Darkness Ablaze. You can pick these up for about $1 off of tcgplayer.com. I gave that an 18 out of 20 on the value score. There's not really much risk in spending $1, especially if you're going to check out. Just take a look and see if the person you're buying from has any of these, and you can just tack it on for an extra $1 and take as little risk as possible. I just see this going up in value mainly because Suicune is such a popular legendary, and I don't know, I just like the card and I think it's going to increase. That's why it made its way onto the list at number 43. At number 42, we have the Butterfree Vmax from Darkness Ablaze. It's a regular ultra rare. It is sitting at $2, and for $2, the risk is so low that it got a score of 17 out of 20 on the value score. And in my opinion, for $2, I mean, this is a steal. The artwork on this is fantastic. Butterfree is super popular. Has one of the most memorable scenes in the anime show where he says goodbye, or Ash says goodbye to Butterfree. It's just super well known. And for only $2, grab a couple of these and put them away. And in 10 years, you're going to make quite a bit of profit off of these because they're just really nice to look at. And it's not going to break the bank to get you a couple copies. And that came in at number 42 with a score of 66. And it also matches Suicune and a couple of others with the 66 score. Our next card is the Holo Rare Gengar from Sword and Shield base set. And this made it on the list mainly because of the value. It's going for about 50 cents on tcgplayer.com. And for 50 cents, really such a low risk for such a popular Pokemon. There's a lot of Gengar lovers, a lot of Ghost type lovers, original 151. It's just, there's almost no risk whatsoever in spending 50 cents on a holographic Gengar card. And that's why it made its way onto the list at number 41. Our next card, the Cinderace V, just a starter from the new region. It's in the game. It could be really, really popular in years to come. It's still pretty popular right now. That's why the price is sitting at about $5.25 here. And I like the artwork a lot. The red and yellow really pop. Cinderace isn't really one of my favorites, but it could be a lot of people's favorites in years to come. That's why it has a card outlook score of 16 and an overall popularity of 15. Not crazy high, but there's still a lot of potential with the starters from any region, and for $5.25, it's not a bad idea to pick up a couple copies of this. Coming in at number 39, we have the Boon V Full Art, and honestly this card just looks amazing. I really like Boon. You know, the colors pop, the red, the green, you know, the sparks and flames down here. Just a really good card in my opinion. It's going for about $5.50 on TCG Player right now, and I only see the value of this going up. You know, they're not super common to pull, and it could end up being one of the more popular starters from the new region. That's why it's tied with Cinderace at 66 total score, and for $5.50, there's almost no risk. You know, there's a little bit of risk there if you get more than a couple copies, but it's definitely worth the risk because it's probably never going to drop lower than that $5.50 mark. Our next card here is the full Art Marnie from Sword and Shield base set. Right now this card's currently going for about $30, maybe a little bit more since the recording of this video. I gave it an overall value score of about 10, but the popularity and the outlook of this card is so high that it raised the total score up to a 67 and put it at the 38 spot on our list here. Honestly, just, you know, really popular in the games. You know, one of the waifu cards that everybody likes to collect, but $30 is kind of getting up there in the price range, and maybe too expensive for some to collect more than just a couple copies of this. I myself am not collecting very many of these, but with the overall popularity of it, it just couldn't be ignored and left off the list. Our next card, coming in at number 37, is the Toxicity Vmax Rainbow Rare, and this is out of this is out of Rebel Clash. It's currently sitting at about $16 on TCGplayer.com, maybe a little less. It had been going down recently. Overall value, in my opinion, is 15 out of 20 on the scoreboard. The artwork looks fantastic, and I really like the artwork. The texture on it when you have the actual card in your hand is just amazing. And you know, for $16 you can get one of the highest rarity cards in the Rebel Clash set, and one of the most popular Pokemon from the new region. And I came in with a score of 67, and I don't see anything that would say that this would ever go much below the $16 value it's currently sitting at. Our next card is the Golden Frostmoth. This is also from Rebel Clash. It's currently sitting at $32. It's the hardest rarity to pull. If you look back at older sets from the past, the highest rarity cards have always done extremely well in terms of value and holding their value. There's just not very many of them out there, and if you can get your hands on these, you should definitely try and pick up more than a couple if you can. The outlook, get out a perfect 20 out of 20 on this, just because it is the highest rarity. It is a really nice gold card. They're beautiful to look at in person. Got an overall score of 67, mainly due to Frostmoth not being the most popular Pokemon, but that could change in years to come for sure. Coming in at number 35 on our list, we have the full art Salamance V. That is from Darkness Ablaze, and this is another one of those really inexpensive full art cards that really have no business being this low in value, in my opinion. I got a 19 out of 20 in the value department. The artwork is super nice. I got a 16 out of 20. The card outlook, it can only go up from $2. You know, if it went lower, I would be shocked, but if it went higher, I wouldn't be surprised one bit. Salamence isn't the most popular dragon type, but it is a really strong Pokemon in the game and does get a lot of love from the fans. It came in at an overall score of 67. Should have brought a water bottle down to rehydrate during this. Alright, our next card on the list is the Butterfree Vmax. It is a rainbow rare from Darkness Ablaze. The current value of this card, sitting at about $14.32, is kind of leaning towards being too expensive to buy, in my opinion, just based on what it is and the other cards being so inexpensive. But it is a very nice card to look at. a very high rarity card, not a lot of these floating around. And overall, Butterfree's a really popular Pokemon, and with how this card looks, I can see it doing really well in the future for sure. Coming in at number 33, we have the Gallion Obstagoon, the shiny Gallion Obstagoon from Vivid Voltage. This is a secret rare card, the gold card, and sitting at about $29.96 on TCGplayer.com. The overall value is at about a 15 because, you know, $30, you know, you don't really see a lot of people spending $30 on a piece of shiny cardboard, but this may be the exception. You know, the artwork is awesome. It is a shiny gold card, the highest rarity that you can get. The card outlook is fantastic in my opinion. You know, these high rarity cards are only going to go up in value as the scarcity of it increases. The popularity of it's not too high. Obstagoon is not the most popular Pokemon, but that can definitely change as the years go on. And coming in at number 32, we have the promo Holo Rare Gengar, Sword and Shield number 52. Mainly put this on the list for the artwork and the overall value, sitting at about $1.62. Not very much risk, and with Gengar being so popular, I could definitely see this increasing in value as the supply dries up. The artwork is fantastic. I really like his mischievous smile, and you know, Gengar cards are just overall really, really cool. I like Gengar. Yeah, for $1.62, you know, there's not much risk. Pick a couple of these up and be happy in the future when you do. And the final card we have on our list today is the Kangaskhan pre-release promo from Darkness Ablaze. This card is currently sitting at $2, and for the price, this is honestly a steal. Anytime I see this card, I always pick it up. You know, for $2, this holographic card, you know, it's stamped with the Darkness Ablaze logo. Kangaskhan is a really cool Pokemon. It's, you know, kind of a cute card as well. The outlook on this card is really, really high in my opinion, and honestly, I don't know why it's so low on this list, but that's just what the scores came out to be. And like I said, anytime I see a copy of this, I always pick it up, especially at that $2 price. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching my video. Our 30 through 11 slots will be coming up in the next video. Please stay tuned for those. If you could, hit the subscribe button and like button. I would really appreciate that. And you all have a good evening. Thanks for your time. Bye.